Hi! Alright, well, it's time to give this tombstone a little bit of extra character. Right now, I could pick this thing up, plop it in the cemetery, and it would look fine. Nobody would really have any gripes, but tombstones are seldom as flat and, straight up as this is purposed right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add many years of rain and water dribbling down. To do this, I'm going to grab myself a dollar store spray bottle, and into it I put white paint. I know what you're thinking. White, it's going to show up like a ghost. No, not really. White paint, watered down about 50-50, so it can still actually spray. And what we're going to do is give this some water aging effects. Now, I'll tell you right now, when you spray this, it's going to come out a very bright white. You're going to be going, oh my god, it looks terrible. But don't worry, because it's mixed 50-50 with water, that color is going to really, really dampen down. And you don't have to use white. If you want a greenish-brown streaking, load a greenish-brown spray. And go ahead and give yourself some water effects. Let it run down. Let it drip and dribble. Highlight that crack a bit. Now, if you're totally panicked and saying, oh my god, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like what this did, it looks terrible, here's just some straight pure water. Wash it away. Your stone will take it, I guarantee you. Give it a little bit of drying time. You're going to have some accumulation in anywhere where the stone has been propped up. To handle that, all you need to do is grab yourself a paper towel and soak up extra bits. Like right now, I've got pooling in this area in here. So I'm just going to slurp that up a little bit. I've also got pooling at the top of this M and the bottom of this U. And obviously I can just adjust my stone as well. Big thing I'll say is do not be afraid of this step. It's the one that most instantaneously looks disastrous. Absolutely disastrous. But in the end, this gives your stone the weathered look of years in time. And this color will all dampen down. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. Let me hit the sides a little bit. Obviously, don't do this indoors like I'm doing it. I'm only doing it indoors because I've only got a kitchen to work with. This is best done outside. Or in a bathtub or a sink. And I'm going to position it straight up and let it go. You'd be amazed at just what a little bit of spritzing does for your project. Cool. We'll let that dry off for us. After I give the top a little bit more of a hit. Well, here it is. The stone I am desperately trying to get in the same shot with. But it's got a few problems as far as I'm concerned. I'm liking the look. It's nice and stony, but it's a little bit bright for my liking. And this is something you should be prepared for. Your stone might come out to look entirely like you don't want it to look. That's fine. What we're going to do now is we're going to tweak it a little bit. And here's a tweak technique to add to your arsenal of stuff to do. This is pretty much exactly the same as putting the spray in. But let's say you don't have a spray bottle. That's fine. Instead, what I've got is a plastic cup, a couple of paints, and some water. These are the standard Walmart brand type acrylics. This is the red apple barrel, blah, 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 blah. This is the folk art Pueblo brown. I want this thing to be slightly darker and just a little bit dirtier. So that's why I'm going to throw some of the brown in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to water myself down, kind of a blackish brownish mix. And then I'm going to grab a cheap dollar store sponge, saturate it with, and give this just a few squidge downs so bits drip and dribble down over the parts that I think are just entirely too light. There's the part you always get into trouble with. How much should we use? Pretty much the same rule applies with watered down paints as with the spray. Whatever effect you get is going to be relatively muted by the fact that your paint itself is being watered down. I'm not planning of using a whole lot of this, so I'm not making a whole lot of this darkening mix. Of course, if you had a big tombstone, maybe you'd want to use a little bit more. But never forget, there's nothing on here that can't be undone. Worst, and I mean worst case scenario, just take the stone back to black and start again. Who the hell cares? Well, obviously you would because you put some work into it, but that's not the point. Alright, so here's about what I put down in there that you can't see because the light is terrible. Alright, there's like a tablespoon and a half of paint in here. There you go. And I'm going to water it down. About 50-50 is the ratio that I normally use when I want to water a paint down to do this. 50-50. Great, so now I've got a gray, wet slurry down there. It's not even a slurry, it's like gray Kool-Aid that does terrible things. This is the one where it's oh no, oh yeah. This is oh no, oh God, no. No, no. Alright. So we find the brush that I had, sponge that I had 2 seconds ago. You know, it's true what they say, as you get older, more and more time is spent looking for the thing you just had in your hand not 10 seconds ago. I'm coming to hate it. Aha, of course, I dropped it. Okay. Scum. Sponge. Hands will get dirty. This is going to happen. I'm going to moisten the sponge with the scum. Blah. I'm going to squidge it on here. And I'm going to let it run down. Unfortunately, there's a spot on here where there's an orange bit that got stuck at the edge of my cup. So mix thoroughly. Otherwise, you're going to have the problem that I'm having right now, where I've got a splash of brown that's just on there. And all you're looking to do here is just simulate what happens to water naturally. It's going to run down the stone. And again, I've got these bright spots I don't like. I'm just going to darken them a bit. Oh no, that looks entirely too natural. It's Let's grab our old buddy, the water spray bottle. Or too artificial, I should say. It looks like somebody intentionally did it. So we're going to make it rain. There we go. That's a gritty, grody old tombstone. And it's all due to just a little bit of paint mixed with water, sprayed from a spray bottle, smooshed from a sponge to make the stone however you want it. If it's too much, water spray, thin it out, let it run down. If it's too little, add some more. But this is a great technique you can use for aging your stones, no matter what type of stone you're making, from a huge monolith to a small little bit. And all these lines will hopefully dry in there, but they will kind of be muted by the fact that they're a watered down paint. But overall, it's a darn good effect. Let's give this darn good effect a little bit more of a close-up. Because seeing from a distance is wonderful, but hardly exact. So I have befouled this thing. Now some of my stuff on top is uneven. I'm going to take the sponge and just do that up so it's a little bit better. Some streaking on the sides, and I'm dripping all over the floor, so I'll remember to clean up a little later on. Okay, so like I said, my top's a little uneven. Just gonna rub my sponge over it. This technique is a tool. Use it however you want. And that'll blend it right out. And if you screw up and you're biting your nails, and well, not now, obviously, because they're all full of gunk, but if you're biting your nails and everything's just terrible, remember, it's going to be dark when they see this stuff. They're not going to care. They're just going to be happy you put the effort in. Only you're going to know how terrible it is, or how wonderful it is. But it's always wonderful, so don't... That was going somewhere. It was. Now I'm just going to kill it before it runs me into a wall. So my cheap spray bottle just broke, which means I get the joyful pleasure of demonstrating how you can use the white effect with a sponge too if you don't have a sprayer around. You can just swab it on if you want it to run down. Get the sponge good and moist. Let it dribble. If it's not dribbling enough, grab your sprayer. I made the white effect about the same way I did with the black. Just took an acrylic, dumped it in, then watered it down about 50-50, and then poured that right in the spray bottle. Some spots still looked a little too light to me, so there we go. And that's how you can hopefully water stain your tombstone for additional weathering effects. Light or dark, as you choose. Take a red stain, go over it. Take a blue stain, go over it. Take a green stain and make it look all gooey and horrific. Have a blast. The water effects are just a ton of fun to add to your stones and give them that extra cool aging look. So, enjoy.